Did you see that? Over there. Look. There's a man and a daughter chasing each other, laughing. There's a man on a bike at a traffic light watching, smiling. There are balloons in the sky floating by in seconds. A 3 and an 8. Is someone 38 or 83? The sun sets pink and orange and the balloons escape beyond the shard. I see a construction worker smoking a cigarette. He's wearing bright orange high-vis and a white hard hat. He stands outside a furniture shop full of old tat that looks really comfy. He's taking pictures. Maybe to show his other half at home. The owner walks outside and they chat around a glass table with fake leather cushioned stools. There's a heron under the bridge, perched on a stone in the stream. Someone with a bike has stopped to stare at it. A man on the tram doesn't know how to use headphones. He doesn't care as he plays American TV shows about boxing and sends voice notes to his friends. He replays his voice notes to listen to himself. I hear a smoker's cough. A woman on the tube was doing her makeup without looking, every so often glancing at her reflection in the windows. She did her makeup perfectly. I noticed that most people glance at themselves in a shop window, particularly if it's mirrored. In the pub, a man walked to the toilet door, paused, and then walked away. He must have changed his mind. There was another man who walked into the toilet with his dog. It's a full moon today. Look at the baby fox in the mother's mouth, and the robin on the washing line, the blackbirds and the pigeon and the squirrel eating out of a bag. There's a ball of hair on the seat in front of me on the overground. That person is sad, but they're smiling. That person is worried. I know a worry face. The acer tree casts shadows on its pot. I thought it must be a jungle for ants. Squeak sits under it on the soil, warm and shaded from the sun. There's an Islington council worker cleaning a sign for an estate with a broom. I see soap suds and foam drip down the sign. I wanted to say to him, I've never seen someone clean a sign before. But I chickened out. In the pub, so many dogs came just before Molly gets put to sleep. So many dogs everywhere, like little bits of Molly's spirit are scattered about the planet. I notice I don't feel too right. I want to shake that as I have no reason to, but I notice it and it helps. I notice my feet more often now. I feel each toe press into my shoes as I walk. I wiggle them and don't forget them. I notice the hem of my dress calmly float and scrape across my lower shins in the wind. It feels nice to be free without jeans for a change. I notice your lips and how beautifully formed they are. I always look at them. And the shape of your nose, how it kinks after being a straight slope. You told me how you always like looking at the trains from afar. Hello. Because it looks as though they aren't moving, but they are. Okay. I notice how I don't notice my mum enough, because I feel her presence and think that's enough. It would be good to show her I notice her. An old man is hunched and sitting at a bus stop. He looks so sad. An old man is picking up litter, or lottery tickets, or receipts off the floor and looking around worriedly. There's a lady sitting outside Costa. She has a stressed face on. I knew immediately when she was reaching for something in her bag that it would be tobacco. She has lots of bags beside her. One says emotional baggage. I thought that was fitting. On the train home, the sun is so strong against my face that it makes it seem as though I'm in heaven. It makes everything feel so crisp and warm and magical this morning. It makes everything seem alright. My eyelashes have blobs of light at each end, reminding me that I'm looking through the lenses of my eyes. A girl chats to her friend about sambuca shots. Some secondary school boys talk to their teachers about football and joke about. One of the teachers is Spanish and another sits oddly in silence, staring. Another has some green in her hair that matches her trousers. She talks expressively, using her hands to a student beside her. Sometimes it's painful for my head to notice so much. It makes me read into things and worry. There's a round window, maybe a studio or maybe a flat, as the train slows into London Bridge. And it has ordered white objects in a row along the window pane. One of the objects is a star. I wait for the 141 on London Bridge at 8 a.m. Seeing London in an early morning haze with people commuting, a train passing, graffiti on walls, road signs and scaffolding and big skyscrapers and glistening water. It reminds me how lucky I am to have been brought up here. I don't want to leave. There's the back of a picture frame behind a closed blind. I see it from the bus. I wonder what's on it. Maybe a loved one? There's blue orchids in the window above. If someone isn't on their phone, I see it. It's so unusual now. If they are looking out the window, thinking, that's quite amazing. I see your eyebrows furrow. It makes mine furrow, which makes yours furrow. On the train, a little girl is trying to persuade her mum to buy her a cookie. She's trying so hard in such a funny way, it makes me laugh.
Oh my god.
I notice how sad you are, and I imagine all the memories you are replaying in your head. If I had spent my whole life with you, I'd have been really lucky. Opposite me, a mother and a daughter are engrossed in a conversation. They are eating sandwiches and the girl has tiny little trainers on. A woman looks, people watches. I admire her confidence in doing so. She stares not intrusively, but as though she's interested, at the woman next to her. I can feel eyes on me. I see people lost in thought. I can see when they want to be alone. I spot people eating or sitting alone and feel sad, but then I wonder if they want the quiet and what they might be thinking. My eye catches on people conversing. I watch the back and forth. I feel the quiet and calm in one conversation, and I don't understand the other one. A barista in a coffee shop talks to her colleagues enthusiastically. She tells a story of how she found out she was project manager. Quite boring really, but she said it, so it was not. The schoolboy ran off the 149 to catch up with his friend. He smacked him over the head. It made me smile and yearn for the feeling of school days. I wonder why people don't mess about or laugh as much as they get older. I notice how it may feel to be old, how sad it is. When you realise that you may be more of a burden than a person. There are bluebells and dandelions along the side of the road. The old man on the 393 this morning has long earlobes and wisps of white hair sticking out of his ear holes. It reminds me of my grandpop. It's funny how older men get bigger and hairier ears, but they shrink. On the tube, a man sits with his hat over his eyes. I wonder what he looks like. A grandma and her grandchild walk in the wind. I worry that the child might blow away.